My name is Nick Morris, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Triumph Raleigh. This is Tech Talk. Everything that I've been talking about up to this point is kind of leading up to what we're going to talk about today and next week. I'm going to do a two-part portion on the engine. And there's a lot of components to it, particularly a Harley-Davidson engine. And basically there's really two pieces that we're going to break it down into. We're going to do the top end and we're going to do the bottom end. Today we're going to start with the bottom end so that we know how everything works, and then next week we'll do the top end, which will kind of go more into what we were dealing with the heads and the intake and the exhaust and all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So in a Harley-Davidson, you have what is known as a flywheel, which is this guy here. And on this side is where your charging system mounts and the compensator inside of the primary. And the week before Christmas, we'll talk about charging systems, so you'll get to see what that looks like. And then on this side, this is what you see here, the cam plate. That's where all of this goes. Now, basically what happens is inside of these cases, this spins, and these two pistons on the ends of these rods go up and down inside of your cylinders. Now, what that looks like is this. So, pistons go down and come up, and when it's time for the spark in the head, if you remember, the spark plug sits in there to fire, all of these teeth right here go across the sensor that's down inside of your crankcase, and when it hits that gap, that's when it's telling it to fire. There's also a couple other little things in here. If you remember the exhaust valve oil cooling, I mentioned something about piston jets cooling the underside of the pistons. That's what these guys are. They basically give a little squirt of oil up under the piston to keep it cool. Now, on the other side, remember I said this is where this cam plate was at. Cam plate rides on this. There's a chain that goes in here that drives these cams. Now what happens is you have a lifter and a cam. And remember I told you that the push rods hit the rocker arms and actuate the valves, open and close them as this cam turns. You can see the lifter comes up and pushes the push rod up, opens the valve. And that's how that works. Better example of that, where you can see it a little more clearly, is this Sportster case that I have over here. And I just stuck one of the cams in. As you can see, a Sportster has 4 cams, so a lot different from a big twin. And we're just going to dump this lifter in there, even though it doesn't fit. And I'll turn the cam, and you can see inside there how the cam lobe pushes the lifter down, pushes it up, pushes the push rod up, opens the valve. So that's how the bottom end of your motorcycle controls the top end. Another big thing about these cam plates is that a lot of stuff inside of your motor depends on oil pressure. And you'll notice that there are a lot of little openings and such on this cam plate. Well, oil flows all through this, and there are valves inside of that that allow a certain amount of oil to come past, and that will pump up your lifters and shoot the oil out of the piston jets. Controls basically everything in there. And there's also an oil pump that goes in here behind this plate as well. It rides on this lobe. So that's pretty much everything on the bottom end of the motorcycle. Again, next week we'll do the top end, and that's where all the magic happens. And then the week after that, for Christmas, we'll give you the gift of charging systems. If you have any questions, you can email me at nick@tobaccoroadhd.com or leave them in the comments below. Been getting some emails, so keep them coming. I'd like to hear you guys' questions and help you out with them. But thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week.